Well, I don't know if this video is really necessary anymore, since after making that Layne Norton video, Jason Blaha is probably in love with me, which would explain why he's made several videos about me lately. But for those of you who don't know, Jason Blaha is another fitness, I use that term loosely, YouTuber who runs the channel Juggernaut Fitness TV, no relation. And what Jason is probably thinking of writing in the comment section by now is, haha, thanks for the shout out, Virgin Gains. Well, congratulations, Jason, you're smarter than Layne Norton, and Mr. Whiskers. But the only thing I'm really concerned with is bitch slapping you and your fans with some logic and evidence so that they don't make some bad decisions that will harm themselves and others based on your misinformation. So first off,
Furious Pete, who has been a long-time famous YouTuber, has been diagnosed with cancer a second time. There are a lot of vegans who are attacking Pete over this. The fact that someone would wish someone to die of cancer because they eat meat makes you a piece of shit.
Well, Jason, the reason I and other vegans think Pete deserves to die of cancer isn't just because he eats meat. It's primarily because he's made a joke out of the suffering and death of billions of animals. Not to mention a large portion of the vegan community tried to warn Pete about the health consequences of his diet even before the first time he had cancer, and then when he finally had cancer, some well-meaning individuals tried to make videos helping Pete and others prevent and treat cancer through diet, but Pete's response was to break the law and make fallacious copyright claims, silencing people who just wanted to help others prevent and treat chronic disease and save animals. Very few vegans wish cancer and death upon someone just because they eat meat, as most of us weren't vegan our entire lives and understand that some people are just ignorant and need to be enlightened, but Pete is an apathetic asshole who only cares about himself, and you're a moron with the reasoning and comprehension skills of a kindergartner who can only see things at face value.
And just to give you guys another example of who this guy is, here's a quote that someone snapped of him yesterday, just to show you what a sociopath he is. I don't have a problem with murder. I don't have a problem with death.
Well, Jason, I don't see how being into bondage and sadomasochism makes me a bad person. You do bestiality and no one judges you for it. And I think you brought this up because you know your arguments are so weak and illogical that the only way you can gain credibility is by making stupid ad hominem attacks, but I don't think anyone's going to be impressed by you mentioning my sexual preferences in a video that was supposed to be about Furious Pete being attacked by vegans. Or did you just mention this because you want me to tie you up and slap you around? Look at that, Jason! I'm even better at making pointless and irrelevant insults than you are, and apparently I'm better at referencing research because...
I'm going to post a little study for you guys down below that came out not that long ago in Austria, and I love it when we do dietary studies in certain European countries where the diet is better so that we don't have to compare it to the mainstream American diet, which we know is pretty bad. And you're going to see different categories of vegetarian and different categories of carnivore, up to people who do eat very meat-rich diets. Just look through that study and notice the demographics. Actually, the vegetarians had the highest cancer rates and the highest rate of mental disorders.
Okay, so the study you referenced only involved 1,320 people, with a vegetarian group of 330 people, and of those vegetarians, only 66 were vegan. Don't you think it's a little bit irrational to judge the quality of a vegetarian and vegan diet, of which millions of people follow, based on the health of 330 individuals living in Austria?
And guys, it should be pretty obvious. It's not the vegetarianism that's causing it. There's no reason to think that. This is correlational data. Might I make a couple of suggestions to you? One thing, a lot of people, tons of people, I would say probably 50% of people who go on vegetarian diets, because the other half do it for ethical reasons, have some sort of medical condition, a major medical condition already, and they try to use a vegetarian diet to cure it. Particularly you see this with heart patients, it's very common, so therefore the vegetarian population might have a higher incident of heart disease, but not because they're vegetarian, but because people with heart disease oftentimes become vegetarians.
So this study is a little bit better because it's the largest forward-looking study on cancer ever conducted, and it found that the incidence of all cancers combined was lower among vegetarians. There's also this thing called the China study, the most comprehensive study of nutrition ever conducted, and it found that those following a plant-based diet excluding all animal products have the lowest risk of chronic disease. And for those of you who are actually interested in reading it and learning something, then I've left a link down in the description where you can download a PDF copy of the China study for free! Wait a second. There were two much larger, better studies that Jason chose not to reference and base his opinion on. Did he just cherry pick research? oh no wait, he eats meat, only vegans do that sort of thing. And I actually mentioned all of this in the comment section of Jason's video, and his response was,
just something you might want to factor in, bud. There are a lot of people out there who feel just like you do, other psychopaths. Many of them might be diehard fans of some of the people you attack. Some of them might be fans of Furious Pete, who you are gloating over the possible death of. You don't have any real weaponry or training, and those people who now hate you feel the same way you do every day. Take that into consideration with your business model.
Well, if you can't sound smart, you can at least try and sound scary. And I also find it really funny that you used a population study to support your argument, as most idiots like you would say correlation doesn't equal causation. And I'm pretty sure you avoided referencing any kind of causational research because you know it all demonstrates that animal products promote cancer cell growth.
Things that's circulating in the headlines, a study that has come out in Australia, and again, this is epidemiological studies, which have the lowest weight of evidence in nutritional science.
And if you want to watch a big long video explaining how animal products promote the growth of cancer, then I suggest you watch my Furious Pete Worst of the Fitness Industry video, which is all over the place by now because I uploaded the file to my Mega account, but the two most popular sources for it are Durian Rider's alternate channel, Durian Ruler, and Sorosha Morova, so again, check the links out in the description for that. So that's it for today. I hope it's been informative, and boom! That's how you do a bicep shot!
What a relief! When will this poisonous product cease? This is another public service announcement. You can believe